What's going on? What's going on? All right, you know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. You came to the right corner of YouTube. It is the foreign national born natural A6. Live and direct, live in effect, dropping bars upon your brain. How's everybody's week been? First off, weekend, whatever you want to call it. How'd everybody do? Anything important happen in your personal lives that you would care to discuss? If so, you can drop a comment in the comment section. Me, I didn't do too much. I pretty much was as usual. I usually keep it centered pretty much for the most part. Um, I I did get a chance to do the homework, which we talked about last time. There was a few other things, but I only got to do one thing though. But we'll talk about that soon. But yeah, for the most part, man, I really didn't. I did some studying pretty much. Had my head in the books. I'm reading like three different books right now, so haven't finished any of them yet. It's trying to kind of hard to find time to finish books, but you're moving and grooving and adulting. That's what happens, or you being a grown up. Pretty much, that's what happens. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody here can relate. What's going on? I am not a U.S. citizen. My man, what up? 86 notifications finally on point. Let me tell you how YouTube has been jerking me on the notifications. Like people hit the bell and they still don't get the notifications when I go live. It's the weirdest thing, man. But we all know why that is. What up, Chris? How you feeling, man? I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for please hit the thumbs up, man. If y'all watching, please hit the thumbs up so we can continue getting this momentum and running with it. Please do that. Hit that thumbs up if you could. Cost nothing to hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up and just coast, relax, listen to the information. Yeah. So the reason you can't hear me if you're new to this channel, the first 5 minutes I don't do nothing. I basically just put my mic on mute and let people trickle in. And then when they trickle in, we start. Usually I go when they go like around like 10 people, 10 viewers or something, but people jump in and out. A lot of people like to wait till I get going. That they'll jump in and see I'm on live and they'll say, well, I'll come back when he talking about shit. You know how that goes. What up, Mr. Mosabe? What's up with you, man? Thank you. Please hit the like button, everybody. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So as usual, upon my travels on the webs, interwebs, I run into different things. I think you guys should take a look at. So I'm pretty sure you heard about this. Maybe not. I thought this made the news. Um, when I say news, I mean like social media news, because there's two different news. You got social media news, and then you got the television news. So check this out right here. This guy. Hold on, let me make sure I got the right shit. I want to show y'all the right shit. Goddamn nets everywhere. Let me pull this up real fast. Hold on. All right, check this out right here. Now, when dude, I feel my man though, like 100%. I feel my man. Like, hey, I ain't mad at him though. Like, LA firefighter accused of wiping his butt with a vaccine mandate letter that was handed to him. I feel son though. Los Angeles firefighters under investigation over his response to the city's vaccine mandate. The unidentified LFAD employee who was served with a non-compliance letter from the fire department pulled down his pants and wiped his buttocks with it before leaving it on the ground. The incident allegedly occurred in Fire Station 69. What are the odds, huh? Fire Station 69 in the Pacific what is that? Palisades. The Los Angeles Stentorians, who represents African American firefighters in the city, called the incident a terminable offense. That is some bullshit, bro. I tell you, they look, man. I'm noticing a lot of different groups of people getting fired, and it's supposed to be a shortage of workers as such, nurses and this, that, and the third. It's supposed to be a shortage of workers, yet we firing motherfuckers over stupid shit. You know what I mean? New York is suffering from a loss of a lot of nurses because of their stupid mandates for the vaccine. People ain't taking the vaccine. Now they're short on nurses. So it must not be that bad. I mean, y'all must not be that busy if y'all can just fire nurses. You know what I mean? Like, hey, it's crazy to me, man. All right, so check it out. The LA City Stentorians are sickened and disgusted by this horrific display of unprofessionalism, they said in a statement. And that's pretty much it, man. I ain't mad at my man, though. At the end of the day, bro, that's what it is. My man said, I am sick of the shit. No pun intended. I am sick of this shit. No pun intended. And he did what he did. Hey, sometimes actions speak louder than words. You know what I mean? I guess this is one of them particular times where it actually does. All right. God damn it. Accidentally hit the wrong button. Hold on a minute. Let me pull this up real fast. Yes, sir. Let me pull this. I want you guys to see this. Where is it? Here it is, right here. Yep. All right. Yeah. So yeah, um, I'm not sure how the mandates go in your particular city or state, but I mean, everybody's feeling the crunch, man. Especially with this new Omicron variant. What is that? What it's called? Omicron. Well, somebody said that if you flip the words around, it actually spells moronic. And it's kind of like them slapping people in the face for still following this shit. I swear, man, I swear. Some of these elites behind the scenes where nobody can ever have a camera are laughing their asses off at this shit. Because it's stupid as hell. They know it's stupid. You know what I'm talking about? It's the whole thing is retarded. It don't make no sense. Every time a new vaccine comes out, a new variant comes out. No coincidence. It's a new jab comes out, there's a new variant. Because you took the fucking vaccine. That's why. Oh man. You gotta love it, man. Another day in Babylon. My man Den says, "Whoa to LA County, King Newsom. What up with you, man? Good to have you on board, bro." Gary De Silva, people don't know how to just write a letter saying it's against their religion. Yeah, but this is the problem. Like, lack of knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, for me, that's what triggered the whole thing for me. Like, I always knew something was wrong, but I really started to research it when the COVID shit happened because it was like, yo, y'all can't do this. I know for a fact y'all can't do it. I don't know why y'all can't do it, but I know you can't. And I'm gonna research to find out why you can't. And that's how I stumbled upon this information, bro. Just like, just putting a foot down and just knowing something isn't right, not ignoring that feeling that, something just ain't right. Something ain't meshing well. You feel me? I, it's just a sixth sense, I guess, we had that they don't, or they're not using, or they're ignoring, or calcified pineal glands. You know what I mean? All of it can be a contributing factor. You feel me? But you're absolutely right, Gary. Because I think the Supreme Court just literally ruled you can't overrun somebody's uh religious exemption. You can't overrule that. That falls under the Constitution and religious freedoms. So yeah, I mean, boom, you throw that affidavit in, you good money. They ain't never gonna report that on the news though, and I know quite a few people probably have done that, and they're good to go. At the end of the day, these institutions they just want to make sure they don't get their heads chopped off, which is still fucking soft as hell. Because at the end of the day, you got to stand on your own too and stand on your square and not get run over. The more you let them run over you, the easier it is going to be for them to continue to do so. What up, Tony? What's going on with you, man? It's good to have you here, bro, as usual. Congress shall make no bang. My man said it right there. Hey, everybody look at that. Gary De Silva just said it right there. There you have it. Vaccine mandates, my ass. What up, Carl? How you feeling? Congress. So my man said Congress. Exactly. 100%. 1000%, matter of fact. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, man. All right, so check this out. Hold on, let me get this out of my way. Every time I pull up the corner of law, there's a pop-up for it. Damn, these goddamn gnats are everywhere. Got this plant I put in here, and this plant's supposed to be like real good for breathing and things like that. But for some reason, nets are very heavily attracted to this plant, so it's freaking nets flying around everywhere. It's annoying as hell. I'm thinking about putting that shit back outside. I don't want it to damn die in the cold weather though. All right, let me show y'all this real fast. All right, we'll pull this up here. Now check this out. Now, I actually had to use this recently, for private reasons I won't go into in the public. But I actually had to use this recently against an institution, and it pretty much stopped them in their tracks. So, 31 United States Code 6711 prohibited discrimination. So check this out. No person in the United States shall be excluded from participating in, be denied the benefit of, or be subject to discrimination under a program or activity of a unit of general local government because of race, color, national origin, or sex, if the government receives a payment under this chapter. All right. So you basically want to ask yourself, well, what does this exactly mean? Well, it says right there, nationality, right? So your nationality, if you're watching, well, if you're watching this, should be, because we all should be on the same page. If you're a U.S. citizen and you're watching this and you're not completely you don't have your status corrected, you should probably go do that first, to be honest with you. But anyway, yeah, this information right here, our nationality, we are quote unquote foreign nationals, foreign to the United States jurisdiction, or American nationals, pretty much. And what that basically means is we cannot be discriminated against another type of government or such because we are not quote unquote U.S. citizens. And I've heard of people getting pulled over, and the police officers basically ask them, "Hey, well, where you from?" And the thing about it is, when you tell them you're a foreign national and they ask you where you're from, they're actually going against their policies too. Because I actually have the Baltimore Police Policy 1113 basically states that they're not allowed to ask, where you're from specifically, because that can be taken as a form of discrimination if they continue to pursue any kind of action against you, which is also fucking illegal, even by their statutes and codes and regulations. But you know how that goes. But yeah, that's. Take a look at this. The additional prohibitions, the following prohibitions and exemptions may apply to a program activity, unit of general local government if the government receives a payment under this chapter. So look, not even necessarily just the government, this can go for anything. Like if it's receiving funds from the U.S. government, it has to basically comply with that. That's what the United States Code is for. So this could be a gun shop, this could be a bank, this could be a loan, a credit application or something like that. Any kind of stuff like that, man. And so that's a powerful tool you can get acquainted with. So grab your pen and paper, write it down. 31 United States Code 6711. You might need it in the future, especially if you claim to be a foreign national. All right. And also want to share to you this piece of information I found. Now, this backs up my theory I talked to you guys about. Remember we were talking about the Travis Scott concert and we were wondering why those people just started dropping? And I was like, yo, it's got to be some kind of frequency or something they're doing to intermingle with, like, either I said it was the blood or something like that. It's something they're using to intermingle with the blood to cause problems in people's bodies. Now, this interesting piece of information I had to dig deep on, or deeper anyway, to find. But check this out. This was in 2018. All right. Creepy patent filed by Rockefellers and the U.S. government via NIH in 2018. Present invitation provides methods and composition for the remote control of cell function based on the use of radio frequency waves to excite nanoparticles targeted to specific cell types. So in layman's terms, what that basically means is they can fuck with your DNA or your DNA. You can fuck with your cells with a remote control, pretty much. That's what it means. For anybody who's not familiar with scientific terms, it basically means they can pretty much turn you off with a remote control. All right. Now check this out. What is that patent? Well, let's read the patent, right? Let's read the patent. Let's see what it says. Let's go right to the horse's mouth and read what it says. All right. So this is all right. So this says ferritin nanoparticle compositions and methods to modulate cell activity. All right. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. You guys got to do your research on this, and then you can look at all the charts and all that yourself. I'm just gonna point you in the right direction. And the U.S. code is the U.S. patent number is US 107-865-70 Billy 2 B2 basically. All right, so it says the present invention provides methods and compositions for the remote control of cell functions based on the use of radio frequency waves to excite nanoparticles targeted to specific cell types. The nanoparticles may be applied to the target cell extracellularly and or expressed intracellularly. The cell type of interest expresses a temperature-sensitive channel wherein excitation of the nanoparticles results in a localized temperature increase that is transduced into a cellular response. Such cellular responses may include, for example, increases in gene expression resulting in the production of one or more physiologically active proteins. Now, they were talking about spike proteins being present in everyone's organs who took the vaccine pretty much. Now, some of those vaccines may have been placebos, but it's I wouldn't want to take that risk because they put placebos in every type of thing where not all of them are pretty much going to be the vax which will give them pretty much plausible deniability in the future. So they say, well, it probably was the vaccine that got everybody sick. And it's like, well, no, I took the vaccine and I'm perfectly fine. Well, that's because you got a placebo. But yeah, so pretty much the spike proteins they were saying were appearing in everyone's organs. Like every single organ had high spike proteins. And people that took the vaccine, they just did a autopsy on the first corpse that pretty much was discovered. And that's what they found. It was spike proteins in all the organs. So please do your own research on that as well. The only thing I can do is point you in the right direction. And if there's a lot on it, you can look down here, field of invention, background of the invention. Read it yourself, man. Read it yourself. And I called this. I said, yo, they're using some kind of, I don't know if it was a frequency. I didn't know what it was, but I was like, yo, I thought it was just when I showed you what the frequencies would do to water and blood or something like that, anything that's liquid, and it would make the liquid do certain things. I thought it was that simple, but it looks like it's even deeper, more complex technology. But this is pretty much what killed those people, man. Their hearts stopped. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. All right, let me go. Let me get down here. All right, Dan says you got gnat larvae. Use yellow sticky traps, beneficial nematode to avoid wet soil. Yeah, you're right, man. Like I got some of those things around here. It's catching a bunch of them, but god damn, yo, they must be breeding in that thing or something. Like I said, I'm about to put that bad boy outside, man, and just take the risk. I want to let it survive in here, but I can't be having that shit flying around. That shit's annoying as hell, man. I'm trying to do lives, and when I turn the lights on, they just all over the place. Irritating. Very irritating indeed. But yeah, so hey, like I said, man, this backs up my theory on the whole entire Travis Scott concert. It was saying it was some type of satanic ritual. I mean, it might have been, but I mean, I go with the Metal Gear theory, man. Cutting edge technology, bruh. He was like, ain't no such thing as voodoo or mumbo jumbo. It's just cutting edge technology. Well, I ain't saying that per se, but I will say technology is the most feasible because I think these people are so far removed from, being connected to the universe and stuff like that. That pretty much they just know what they can get away with. But as far as being connected, they aren't. So the technology has to be the standard. That's what I say. Make your own opinion. But yep, that's what I believe. What up, Kevin? How you feeling, man? What's good with you? I'm surprised Mr. Bennett ain't in here yet. I'm surprised he ain't got in here. All right, look, boom. So look, I gave you guys some homework to do. The homework was to watch the movie that came out in 2005 called The Island. All right. So, and some other movies on here too, which I wanted to watch. I didn't get a chance to watch all of them, but I did get to watch The Island. The Island was a very interesting movie. Surprisingly enough, this one slipped through the cracks. I didn't even know this movie came out. Scarlett Johansson's beautiful ass was in it. They had another guy in it. I don't even know who the hell he was, but the main guy, he was in the joint. There was a lot of familiar faces too in it. Some guys I've seen them in a lot of movies, but I don't know their names. So there was a few of those guys in there too. Yeah, it was a pretty good movie though. But like, yeah, so if you haven't seen the movie before, I'm gonna spoil it because you guys had a week, the same week I had, so I'm gonna spoil it now. So if you plan on watching the video and you don't want it to be spoiled, probably just go ahead and check with me next week because I'm about to spill the beans on this movie. All right, so look, check this out. So the movie basically starts off with there's a guy pretty much like a older European looking dude, and he pretty much is going through his daily routine. He has a dream and such, and the dream is him on a boat with some beautiful ass blonde chick, and they're just riding on the boat, and then something happens, and the dude falls in the water, and people grab him and stuff like that. So that's basically how it starts off. So when it goes through the motions and everything, it looks like this dude's living in like a future of advanced technology. Like his clothes are automatically already picked out for him. His shoes are automatically picked out. Everybody on the same floor, they all meet up and to get lunch at the same time and stuff like that. They all dress the same. There's no individuality. And it looks like it's pretty much a colony in the future. So at the looks of it, it seems like maybe this is like the year 4040 or something like that, and civilization's gotten to the point where Earth was destroyed or something. And this narrative they're basically carrying out was what happened. And they were saying that pretty much, select the people who win the lottery get to go to the island. And the island was supposed to be this type of thing where you're supposed to go to paradise or something like that. It's supposed to be super nice. And well, the guy goes through and he starts to become one of those people who ask questions. They're monitoring his body through his urine and stuff like that. Well, it turns out he meets up with this chick who turns out to be Scarlett Johansson with blonde hair. She looks spectacular, by the way. But he meets up with her, and they supposedly had some kind of friendship. It was a real close friendship. But the interesting thing about it was these people were pretty much sheltered. All right. So it turns out this guy sees like a firefly or some kind of moth or something, and he ends up following the moth when he lets it out in the ventilation shaft. The moth goes wherever the closest fresh air is. So the moth is basically going up this tunnel. He's following it like up the ladder or whatever. He's following the moth, and he discovers that, God damn, there is an outside. They've been lying to us. So he goes down and he ends up on a wanted list pretty much, and he ends up running over to get the girl. The girl and him escape. Turns out not only were they lied to, but civilization was still there. These people, right, check this out, these people were actually being bred as duplicate clones of famous celebrities and rich people in the movie. So the issue was these people would spend money with this corporation, and they would get a clone created of them with a DNA sample, and they would create a clone that was only about like when it first hatched, it was an adult already. So they were already able to harvest the organs if needed be. So the reason that they actually had these people being cloned was so they could replace the organs if organs started to fail. If they needed a skin graft or something, they would kill the clone to take his organs. If they needed a lung, they would take his organs. Anything that failed, they could pretty much get swapped out. So, like, I think the price was $5 million to get a clone made. So these people were literally in this bunker. It was like an underground bunker. Like this thing had to have been like probably like hundreds of feet under the ground, and it was multiple floors and stuff like that. And they were raised inside the thing the whole entire time. And a lot of these dudes, they looked like they was 30, but they was only 4 years old, and they were basically fed knowledge of what they say it was knowledge of a 15-year-old, which is about the equivalent of a 10th grade education. And sex was completely omitted. Not only could they not have children or nothing like that, but they were pretty much basically like sterilized, kind of. Their hormones and stuff like that were being regulated with these medications they were taking, so nobody was having sex or nothing like that. None of that was introduced. It was only like they were being treated like children, basically. So they go about just basically thinking everything's okay. People are entering this raffle. Hopefully they want to go to the island or something like that to be able to experience water on their feet. And they really thought that's what it was, but it wasn't that at all. What they would do is if you won the raffle, quote unquote, because everybody had to enter the raffle. If you won the raffle, they would take you in a room and they would kill your ass. And they would tell you you're about to go to the island. And they would just like inject you with some shit, like to put you to sleep, and they would take your organs out. So it turned out to be a thing where celebrities were involved, man. It was crazy, dude. It was like, yo, it was one point on there where the dude and the girl had actually escaped. So they went to the guy actually ended up going to the actor's house that he was supposed to be like a clone of. And the actor was like, yo, what the so he looking at a clone, and the guy was Scottish, and he was actually, he spoke regular English. So one guy had an accent, one guy didn't. So they looking at the TV, and he's like, I know that guy because it happened to be the president. He's like, I know that guy. He was like, who is that guy? He was like, that's the president of the United States. He was like, well, that's interesting because I've met his clone before. And he was like, yo, the president had a clone. This is lesser magic, bro. They got to tell you first. Balance, lesser magic, man. Facts. That movie was crazy, man. Very, very well worth I think it was a 2 hour movie. It was a pretty long movie too. I was surprised how long it was because I remember in the early 2000s, movies were only about an hour, 20 minutes, hour, 30 minutes long. But this movie had a lot of information to get off. So you know what I mean? That joke was wild. So yeah, the action in that movie was crazy. I wonder how much they actually spent to fund that movie. Not that it matters, but I mean, it was just interesting to see how much they put into it because the chase scenes were crazy. There was lots of explosions. Shit was getting blown up. People were getting shot, ran over. It was wild. Cars were getting trashed. Buildings were getting destroyed. It was lovely. It was very fun to watch. But the I don't know, man. It was just the deepness of what was actually happening, bro. When you study the type things we study, was crazy. It was excellent. But let me skip some of the comments here. What up, hip hop? How you feeling, man? Yosef, glad to have you in here, bruh. The island was wild. Yeah, it was. But the island was crazy. I don't even remember seeing any commercials for that movie. Was that a straight to DVD release? And it seemed like it was too much money being spent on that movie to be a straight to DVD. And I'd be willing to bet that role in that movie got Scarlett Johansson that role as Black Widow, because she was actually pretty good in that movie. Not only did she look great, she was acting pretty well too. I actually I actually bought the script she was trying to sell. I believe that's happening now with clones. Look up Donald Marshall on cloning. Donald Marshall. All right. Let me write that down, bruh. All right. Lesser magic, man. Lesser magic. They gotta tell you what's happening before they do it. Otherwise, it won't work. It's gotta be balanced, you know what I mean? I remember this movie, The Dude Found the Island, was actually Death Sentence. Yep. Yeah, they were only put there in order to be like sources of lungs and hearts and all that other stuff that people need when they get older. Because they say that the waiting list to get organs can be crazy long, and a lot of them rich people, they don't want to wait that long. If they die and they want hearts and stuff ASAP, which a lot of people say they're gonna get them hearts regardless. I've even heard some people speculate that gang violence and shit like that is orchestrated just so they can get fresh corpses. But that's speculation. I'm not sure, but I don't have any way to back that up. But it makes sense. You know what I mean? Shit, I think Dick Gregory said that. He said, "Why is my insurance policy sitting in front of me?" Yeah, he said when he said that, I was like, "Holy shit, that dude planning for a fool." Yeah, he paid for like to have the discreet type deal, and he come home and his insurance policy with all his organs and stuff like that are supposed to be kept in a secure place is sitting on his couch with some other blonde chick. I swear that dude is he's about to get with that chick for real. He's about to get with that chick. He was like, "Oh, your skin is so soft." The movie's called The Island, 2005. Now, there's multiple movies called The Island, so you gotta make sure you put in the 2005 one so you can get the right copy. It was in theaters. Okay, I don't know how I missed it. Of course, '05, I was in a completely different area too, mentally. But yeah, I missed that. Donald Marshall's story seems so far out, though. It's so hard to believe, in my opinion. I gotta look into that. Donald Marshall, you say? Let's talk about it, man. Shit, we here. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Human Cloning Center. You know what's interesting? I remember back when they first started talking about cloning, when it first hit the news. Of course, that probably wasn't, I'm pretty sure that wasn't the first instance, but they were talking about cloning sheep. I remember that. That was in like 1995 or 6. There was even commercials and shit about it. So yeah, they probably been doing that shit since the 60s or 70s, maybe even before that. All right, let's talk. Let's look at this, man. Let's see what they talking about here. Got a few videos on here. All right, which one's going to be about cloning specifically? Oh, I spelled that wrong. Sheesh. All right, try this. All right, I don't see it. Yeah, that's weird because I see a channel here, but like they're not showing any videos specifically. I might have to do my own research and bring it up on y'all. Oh wait a minute, here we go. Meghan Markle. All right, hold on. Yeah, I think I saw this before, but hold on, let me pull this up.
Watch her face. Look at her eyes. What the fuck is that? What is?
Yeah, I saw that before. I actually saw that before, and that was super weird. I saw that before. That was years ago, though. I think I even saw one where she was just sitting there staring into space. She wasn't moving at all. So I mean, those shit. You guys remember when those dolls? Hold on. All right, you guys remember when those dolls got real popular? Remember the dolls that came out and everybody was talking about, oh, yo, women got a challenge now. They're basically sex dolls. And they're supposed to look just like quote unquote a woman or whatever like that. They're supposed to have soft skin or something like that or whatever. And it's supposed to even be the same size as a woman. And then people were saying it was a big thing on the internet where people were sharing pictures and women got pissed off and stuff like that. But yo, that technology, man, just imagine if that's just a smidgen of stuff that they actually have, they probably have for a long time. And a lot of that technology, man, for public consumption, it'll be completely dumbed down. And some stuff won't even make it to the public, like the optic camouflage we talked about last week when we saw that fighter craft that went invisible, like the cloaking device, stealth camouflage is what they called it or whatever. That's pretty much the type of situation I'll be talking about. That type stuff won't ever make it to you know for public use because it's got too many ways it could be used for the wrong thing. But I mean, shit, it could be used for the wrong thing with them using it too. Probably is being used for the wrong thing for real. But that's neither here nor there when we ain't the ones developing it, right? And they said it's just the way they use some kind of technology to bend light around. They're not really making it invisible. They're bending the light around somehow, whatever that means, bro. I ain't a scientist, but I do know that is very, very interesting. I'll have to look into that, Queen. I gotta look deeper into that so I can pull you guys up something so we can look at and dissect. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. They definitely, yeah, yeah, dude. I'm gonna go as far as to say they might have perfected it back in the day. I remember on Endgame. Was it no? Was it Endgame? I think it was. It wasn't Endgame. It was the first one where they fought Thanos. Or was it Ultron? One of those things from the Avengers or whatever. And Black Widow actually made it into the council, dressed as one of the council members. And then she knocked one of them out, hit the other one with the gun, and had him in gunpoint. She pressed a button on her forehead, and her face changed back to her face. So it was like a cloaking technology that gave her a different appearance. You know, I mean, this is all stuff we got to basically figure this could be possible. That would literally be perfect if you could be in a room with a person and they don't even know that you there with them. You know what I mean? That's perfect to me. And not having to go back and edit video or nothing like that. You could be in front of people and see that you know, and see that somebody you think is there. That's perfect. Since World War I. Now, what kind of clone are we talking about? Are we talking about the Mission Impossible masks, or are we talking about actual genetic clones? Because those are two different things. They scrubbing the info. Oh, you best believe they scrubbing the info. You best believe they scrubbing the info. You think they're gonna leave that up? No way. Nah, they're gonna scrub that, man. Nah, that's gonna get scrubbed, bro. Absolutely. Cloning centers, huh? Hey, no, look, check this out, bro. They said that on that movie, The Island, the place it was actually underground, like on a mountain, built inside of a mountain, right? Well, check this out. How about Area 51 is mostly underground? Majority of Area 51's floors are underground. How about that, huh? He actually did long interviews about these human cloning centers. Says he's met with pleasing. What? Yo, I've heard so many crazy stories about Queen Elizabeth, and I'm not sure if I believe she met up with a regular human. Because I've heard stories about Queen Elizabeth transforming and shit, which I haven't seen myself, but I've read articles basically saying she's still to be revered as just as like she's a human or something like that. Dude, I can't. I should have really, you know what? I dropped the ball because I read about this earlier this week, but I did not make like a footnote so I could come back to it and share it with you guys. I'm gonna find it again, and when I do, we will be talking about that. But yeah, they actually said they witnessed her shapeshift, and she's actually not a human. That's what they say anyway. But who knows? I haven't seen it. But yeah, so as far as her meeting with a man, I don't know about that, bro. And then you gotta imagine too, a lot of these if you want to even call them people, they don't look at people as you know as equals or somebody they need to explain themselves to. You know what I mean? So I don't know about that. He could be capping about that. Between the metaverse and sex bots, the future is going to be interesting. Man, the future is going to be crazy, bro. I tell you what, man. I just want to get my damn my land and my damn my cabin out in the mountains somewhere, bro, with my garden of food from the earth growing, and I don't want no part of that shit. I tell you, I don't want no part of that, bro. Leave me the fuck alone, for real. At the end of the day, because that's crazy, man. I mean, all the stuff they got going on right now, man, it's absurd. It's absurd. Stealth cloaks. We already talked about that, Kevin. Where you been at, man? Was you here? You was here last week. You must have came in late. You must not have saw that video I showed you. But yeah, they got that. Stealth cloak is facts. Invisible Girl's power was described as bending light around her in the yeah. And they described that also in the 1996 game. What was it, 96? No, it was 1998 or 99, one of the two. It was Metal Gear Solid. And I tell people all the time, hey, if you guys want to see some interesting stuff, this game was very revolutionary. Please go check out some of the cutscenes on Metal Gear Solid. Even if you ain't into video games, I guarantee you the stuff they talk about in there is right up the lines of stuff we study, man. Metal Gear Solid was a doozy. If you're a gamer and you played it, you know what I'm talking about. That actually got me interested in politics, honestly. When they start talking about how people would circumvent the Constitution and stuff like that, and how there was a shadow government basically operating without the president even being involved. They talked about the Lale Lule Lo, basically, which is pretty much a group of people who are in the shadows and will never be public, who basically use the president and everybody else as a figurehead. Like, they actually got away with this. And to this day, I still think that Konami, somebody pressed the button on Hideo Kojima because Konami dropped him right when the last Metal Gear Solid game came out. I think it was well, I want to say Ground Zero. No, maybe it wasn't Ground. It was one of them. Maybe it was the Phantom Pain. One of them two. But there was a game that actually he was getting ready to release, and this guy was revolutionary for putting out a lot of controversial topics about politics and stuff like that. Even dealing with the United States corporation, dealing with Europe, dealing with Japan, dealing with the Middle East, and like when you would go to these areas and stuff like that, they would give you the skinny. So I'm playing the game or whatever, and I go over to Africa, and your mission is to go there and like extract one of the prisoners or something like that that has special knowledge about Metal Gear something. So I go down there, and they just start explaining like, yo, he's like, don't get in the water. The water's filled with chemicals and oil. And they said something about a treaty being broken or something like that, and they started dumping oil in the reservoir because the town people didn't. I can't, dude. It was crazy. But yo, when you really start to play that game, they explain to you like little things, and they were saying stuff like, yeah, it was much easier to have if you want to stage an execution of a specific city, it's much easier to have soldiers come in from out of the country to do it because the soldiers from out of the country will easier kill people that they're in a foreign country for than they will their own kinspeople. That was crazy. I was like, y'all, I never thought of that. But yeah, this game is interesting. Metal Gear Solid, man. You can look up the cutscenes. You can literally just play it through and just while you're going to work or something, just listen to the stuff they talk about. And it gets real political. They talk about wars. They talk about like cover-ups. It's crazy. Like I said, somebody pushed the button on Hideo Kojima because he was doing some very controversial things with them games. The things he was putting in there. Even Fox Die. If anybody knows what Fox Die was, they were doing something with Fox Die where they actually gave Snake the Fox Die in his body, and he was basically a super soldier clone himself. He was basically a genome soldier. They had three. It was him. It was Liquid Snake, and it was what was the other one called? Solidus, I think. It was three of them. So they were pretty much brothers, and they had superhuman abilities. And they weren't like they were more like Captain America kind of in a sense. They had like his abilities for real. They didn't have like flying powers or nothing like that, but it made it real fit for them to be soldiers because they were able to do things other soldiers weren't able to do. So yeah, they had this whole thing where they were explaining how the cloning system worked and stuff, and dominant genes versus recessive genes, and it was crazy. It was just a lot. But the Fox guy was basically put in Snake, and because he was an enhanced super soldier, he was able to go around and infect people without being infecting himself. So when he came across let's say you had somebody who was in a position or something like that was supposed to be executed because they knew too much, he was sent to go extract them. So when he got there to extract them, they would just die out of nowhere. And he was like, what the hell? So three people ended up dying. Maybe it was I think it was two people. Two people died back to back after he met up with him that he was supposed to be rescuing, and he didn't figure out what was going on. And then they told him later on, yeah, you've been infected with fox die, and you're basically just being used to spread fox die. You thought you were going in to help people, but no, you were basically just spreading the virus. Crazy shit. Yes, sir. It's an Asian dude on YouTube showing some cloaking technology. It was impressive by capturing the surroundings using multiple cameras. I saw that at the remake of a movie, Invisible Man. I actually saw that with using cameras. I did see that. I did see that. It was in its beginning stages last time I saw it, though. Cloning is like stem cells, but on a larger scale. Yep. Agreed. You know, people can do cloaking spells. Nah, please send me some information on that because I would love to read about it. Please. Please send me some information on cloaking spells. I agree. I'm going to be chilling out the farm. Yeah. Yo, look, I don't want no part of this Machine City because it's coming. You're gonna need it's gonna be that chip technology I was telling you guys about. You're gonna need that. You're gonna need that to function in that machine society, man. I'm telling you. So I'm good on that. Stack chips, buy yourself some land in the farm, have plenty of arms, have a couple dogs, something like that. You know what I mean? Big fence, grow your vegetables in your backyard, and just leave people alone and be bothered for real. At the end of the day. Oh yeah, I left because Cooper. Cooper. Hey, Cooper. He was dropping bars though, man. You can say what you want. Yeah, he was getting on you. I get it. He was roasting you. But he's busting your balls, bro. But Cooper drops fire though. So I mean, it's a balance. You feel me? I feel the same way. That's why I'm in the investment. Yeah, get that big ass pile of money, man. Yo, for real. You know what I mean? Do the whole what is it? The CFT joint. That's the move. Yeah, that's the move, bro. Do that and just get out of Dodge. Get out of the way, Let them do whatever they want, but you get the fuck out of the way. Considering the Starlink coverage area and the VAX graphene vessel is a semiconductor, there's only 2 spots in the Rockies. EMF, camo, and hacking drones will be the future. Yep. You said 2 spots in the Rockies. What are you thinking? Starlink coverage area. That's interesting. I mean, for real, I'll be honest with you though, yo. Being out in the mountains and such, man. You know what I mean? And not even maybe in the mountains. You could be just like somewhere with a bunch of land away from a bunch of people, you know. But like being out there and stuff, you're gonna have less exposure to all the shit we're being exposed to. Being in like a county or a city or something like that, you're gonna be exposed to a lot less. It's gonna be hard to completely get out of all of it, yo. Because dude, at this point, I kind of believe it's a higher technology or higher beings doing that shit to maintain a certain illusion, like as far as the trails and all that stuff in the sky and all that. But I mean, as far as the information goes that you're talking about, facts. But I mean, you getting out in the country or something like that, you're gonna be exposed to less, which is actually healthier for you. I used to love watching my brother play Metal Gear. Yes, sir. The way they set up the gameplay and the script was fucking amazing. Do you remember the site? Yo, you talking about Psycho Manus? Psycho Manus was crazy because that's before anybody knew that technology even existed on the PlayStation. I mean, they were doing things with that game that I didn't even know was possible. So there's this one part on the game, on the first one for PlayStation. Keep in mind, this was back in 1998 when games was just like, they were really starting to come out of their shell for real. Just in 1991, we had Super Mario. We had Mario for NES. And then here we are 8 years later, learning about the Constitution and all this stuff from a video game. So they had this one part where you had to fight this dude named Psycho Mantis. And the only way you could beat Psycho Mantis is if you had to unplug your controller from the first port and put it into the second one, because he could read all your movements from the first controller. And on top of that, what he would do is he would read your memory card. Whatever games you played and you had saved on your memory card, he would actually tell you about. You'd be like, yo, how did he know I played that? You read your memory card. That game was crazy. But yeah, we getting off topic though. But yeah, I did like that game. Tom Clancy. Yo, listen, Tom Clancy's another one. Tom Clancy's games. What did Tom Clancy make? Was it Splinter Cell or Rainbow Six? I think it was Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, if I'm not mistaken. But he actually had Tom Clancy actually got investigated multiple times. I think it was the CIA. They actually went in his house 3 times and investigated checked his house and all that stuff. Because I guess the information he was putting out was too close to the truth. And they were wondering how he knew this shit. They probably thought the only way he could know this is if he was hacking our databases. But maybe not. You know what I mean? Maybe not. Maybe Joe just got a brain for real. Cooper needs to be a weekly guest. Cooper's always invited on the show, man. Absolutely. Tony, by the way, I got 2 of those trees books that you showed on live. I haven't started reading yet. There are any chapters I pay close attention to. You got a question right here, Tony. My man's asking, what chapter should he start off with? A6 looking to Smith-Mundt Act is how the United States uses the law to do false flag operations in the media. Just type it in Google and see. Well, I know and I think it was 2014, Barack Obama actually removed there was a law that was making psychological operations on the public. It was making it unlawful, illegal, whatever. And he actually removed it, I think, in 2014, which is when the false flags started really coming out of the woodwork. I think Trayvon Martin was 2014, wasn't it? Because I think that was the first PSYOP. Smith-Mundt Act. Let's take a look at that, see what he's talking about. All right. You know, good old Wikipedia, even though sometimes it be bullshit, but I think we can get the gist of what we need to know right here. The U.S. Information and Educational Exchange Act of 1948 is Public Law 80-402. It's properly called the Smith-Mundt Act. The act was first introduced by Congressman Carl E. Mundt in January 1945 in the 79th Congress. It was subsequently passed by the 80th Congress and signed into law by Harry Truman. Let me tell you we already talked about Harry Truman and his agreement with those other ones. We already talked about Harry Truman. The act was developed to regulate broadcasting of programs for foreign audiences produced under the guidance of the State Department and prohibited the domestic dissemination of materials produced by such programs as one of its provisions. The original version of the act was amended by Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012, which allowed for materials produced by State Department and Broadcasting Board of Governors to be disseminated widely spread within the United States. This is a lot to look into. Yeah, this is a lot to look into. This is a lot to look into. Yeah, I got to do my research on this. That's interesting. But I am aware that Obama did repeal one of those laws that actually made it illegal, I believe it was, not unlawful, illegal to run psychological operations on the public, on the American public. Because I know Obama, man, that was a shitload of those bad boys. All the mass shootings and all that shit. Crazy. The military has cloaking technology. It was the U.S. soldier in Afghanistan that had cloaking suit on. I've seen it. I saw that too. What clearance do you have to use that kind of stuff? I would like to know. It's got to be like a Black Ops type thing because, that's wet works right there. If you're using wet works to go get rid of somebody and shit like that, they never even see it coming, which is super dishonorable. But, if they even use it, they might not even be using it to assassinate nobody. They might be using it to just grab intel info, just be there present in the meeting when everybody's talking about this shit. And then, basically have a recorder and then get the fuck out of Dodge. You know what I mean? Nobody even knew they were there. You would need a damn a thermal joint, like a thermal body scanner to know that somebody was there. Crazy. That's interesting though, man. That technology is very interesting stuff. I mean, just think about the good you can do if you use that technology properly. How much good could you actually do with that, man? You know what I mean? They call it the Harry Potter cloaking technology. Yes, people keep saying Harry Potter, but I saw it before Metal Gear, bro. Like I saw it on Fantastic Four before that, like my man said earlier. Yep. But in real situations, the Rainbow Six game. Yeah. That's why they came and looked. And that dude lived in Maryland, believe it or not. I think he lived right in what was it? Was it PG County or something like that? He lived somewhere near DC, but they was like, yo, why does this motherfucker know exactly what happened? Why? And it's deeper than that though. This is back when the CIA was studying they were studying things like telekinesis and remote viewing and all that stuff, which is all 100% real. And the CIA has declassified over like what was it 5,000 documents on this stuff. And if you care to read them, they're all on the internet. But yes, all that stuff's 100% facts. Remote viewing, telekinetic abilities. You know what I mean? All that stuff that you see in X-Men is real. That shit is real, and it's been declassified. All right. Astral projection is real. All right. Removing your spirit from your body to travel across the land is real. That's 100% facts. It's been declassified already. So any naysayer that doesn't believe anything unless the federal government tells them can suck it because it's 100% facts. I've read a few of those. I've even read about the meditation or something like that. I've read all kinds of stuff. Interdimensional. They've already admitted to a different dimensions being a thing. Like all this stuff comes, the dimensional shifts and stuff. This has all been declassified. It's all 100% real. They were even trying to figure out a way. They had, I think they had soldiers that had the ability to do things like that. Back to the Metal Gear thing and Metal Gear Solid, Lesser Magic. They had soldiers that could do shit like that in Metal Gear. Facts. Only one going on my U.S. flag ain't nothing but a war flag. Yep. Better off flying your state flag or just making your own. Better off flying the peacetime flag. And for those of you who don't know what the peacetime flag is, let me show you. Everybody here should know what the peacetime flag is. All right. This is the flag we need to be flying because we are peaceful individuals. We're not combatant. We're non-combatant, non-belligerent. I've been looking for, what's crazy? I've been looking for this flag the longest time, and I just found it while I'm talking to you guys. I just found out where I can buy it from. That is crazy. So let me show you here. This is the peacetime flag. All right, that's it right there. All right, so as you can see, the stars represent living souls, and this is what this goes back to the conversation we've been having the last 2 weeks. Well, what do the colors mean? What are ink colors? Blue means the living soul. All right, red means basically the nationality, pretty much. Black means the debtor, and purple means royalty. All right, so those are the colors. So you see the stars right there are blue, which is the living souls, the people, the man, the people of nature and such. You know what I mean? The red and white stripes are there too. But that is the peacetime flag. That's the flag we need to be talking about. Now I agree with you can make your own flag too and make it stand for what you want it to stand for. You can put it in the UCC one, put a lean on it, fly your own flag, or you can do your Maryland flag or your wherever you're from. You can do your flag. But at the end of the day, that is the peacetime flag. So that's the flag that we need to be if you want to fly something, that's the flag you need to be thinking about. Go to the video site. What are you talking about, Kevin? You talking about, bro? Splinter Cell is my favorite game. Splinter Cell is fire, yo, but I got Metal Gears. I thought Metal Gear was a little bit better. But I never played any of the Splinter Cell games, but I've heard that the information they drop is on par with Metal Gear. So I got respect for Splinter Cell, even though Solid Snake would beat Sam Fisher's ass. I put money on that, yo. I put $100 on Solid Snake beating Sam Fisher's ass. Facts. Tom Clancy has connections to the military. Okay. Is that what it was? Was he in the military at one point? I know he knew a lot of stuff. I'm in the private life. I got my passport, 5 stars. Yes, sir. And my birth certificate authenticated. My man, thank you so much for doing that, man. Welcome to freedom. Now just keep stocking up on the knowledge and make sure you're ready to disseminate and expel the knowledge whenever possible. Peace and blessings, Russell. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, congrats on the 5 star. A lot of people really go back and forth for the 5 stars, but it don't really matter to me, honestly. It don't matter to me that much. I got my birth certificate authenticated, but haven't done the passport yet. Yeah, that's one of the first processes I did, bro. CIA Black Ops, absolutely. Yes, sir. Peace on to you, man. Yes, sir. But yeah. So that's the peacetime flag there. All right. But yeah, the the flag was basically, it definitely is a war flag. That's why they put the gold fringes around it, man. It's an admiralty flag. Anytime you see, if you ever look at any of the courts, anywhere you see that flag, it's always got the fringes around it, man. For real. I even heard. I think I heard. I talked to. I can't remember who it was. I spoke to somebody and they had said that they had stopped saying the Pledge of Allegiance or something like that in their school because it was a conflict of interest. Because the schools were basically owned by the U.S. corporation, so you were pledging allegiance to the flag, the American flag. Meanwhile, it was owned by the United States, so it's two different. It was a conflict of interest, so they made them just stop saying the Pledge of Allegiance altogether. They tried to put it under the guise of some other bullshit. I don't even know what the guise was because I don't even remember that shit honestly. But again, I had my head up my ass back then. Have you ever woke up in your body and couldn't move for at least a couple minutes? Yeah, when I was younger. When I was younger, even the what is it? The sleep paralysis. Yeah, geez, I think the last time that happened, I was like, it might have been 2010, a long ass time ago. What do you mean? Where do you go? There's multiple ways that can be interpreted, bro. You gotta break that down. What you mean? Oh, witches on your back, spooky stuff. Oh yeah, when you can't move. Interesting. I honestly, I tell y'all the same thing I've been telling y'all forever. I rock with crystals real heavy, man. I bang with crystals, protective crystals. But anybody who watches this video and been watching all my other videos knows I don't go nowhere without my moldavite on. I like crystals. Crystals are my thing, man. And certain crystals that can protect you from stuff like that. It's called a demonic attack. You mean what makes the most sense? Okay, yeah. What I would suggest doing, since you have the if you have the birth certificate authenticated and you have your passport already, make sure you put the people on notice. Make sure that the right people are aware of what you have done. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, once you've done so, you want to look into that the UCC one, but it's got to be done properly. You can't just go do a UCC one. It doesn't work that way. It's got to be done a specific way. Absolutely, man. That there's no joke. I mean, it's very uncomfortable, man. Very uncomfortable. But I tell y'all, man, y'all need to look into some crystals, bro. There's already crystals here put to help you. All the stuff was put in the soil, in the land. All this stuff was put for us. It was put here for us. The spiritual realm is real. That's why they don't tell you about crystals because they don't want you to know that the spiritual realm is facts. That's why. There's a book called, I've been telling you about this book called The Crystal Bible. You can get it, and it actually has a section that tells you every single ailment you could possibly think of. They actually have a crystal for it to help you out with it. So if you have a problem with sleep paralysis, and you're being demonically attacked, then yes, you need to look into crystals, man. 100%. Crystals are put here by the Most High. You go any and everywhere we want, Douglas. Yes, sir. There you go, because this is our land at the end of the day, right? Pledging allegiance to Walmart, Law Corporation. Right. Study tort and trust law at the passport. Yep. The UCC one. Definitely look into your laws because you're going to need to put some government officials in check. I promise you they're going to overstep because that's what they do. Especially like, police that don't know shit. I had gotten into a debate earlier with a conservative. And I'm like, yo, see, my problem with conservatives and liberals is because they're too glued onto their positions to learn anything contrary to what they know. And when you become so smart that you're too intelligent to learn, you're a dumbass and you don't know shit. Because if you ever get to be in a situation where you can't learn anymore, there's no point in even talking to somebody like that. You know what I mean? So like I talked to this lady and she was online and I told her, she was like, yeah, something about police or whatever, something like that. I'm like, well, you always talk about the Constitution and you talk about Kyle Rittenhouse getting off of the Constitution on one breath, but on another breath, you talking about back to blue when a lot of those police officers don't even follow the Constitution. And she was like, well, you can unfollow my page. I don't care about none of that. The bottom line is you're a hypocrite. You so obligated to be on one side of the fence with the conservative thing, you won't even entertain the idea that maybe you don't know all the information, let alone the difference between lawful and legal. You got police officers supposed to be upholding the law, upholding legal statutes and codes and regulations and all that other stuff. We talk about the same thing all the time. You got somebody in a place like Massachusetts. Let's say they don't have a permit. Let's say the guys who got locked up, the Rise of the Moors, who got locked up for not having permits for bearing arms, and them same police threw them in jail. Meanwhile, they whining about not having to take a vaccine because it's against their constitutional rights. Like, yo, come on, ain't nobody trying to hear that, bro. You can't keep straddling the fence forever. Eventually, you're gonna have to pick a side, man. And these people, these conservatives, I got no problem with conservatives, but please be aware that you may not know everything and be open to learn more, man. That's the only thing I have. If you're more connected to the idea of being a conservative than actually being a conservative and learning more, then you pretty much you are nothing at that point. You're nothing but a follower. Are crystals like rocks? Some say the rocks have certain energy. Absolutely, crystals are 100% rocks. That's all they basically are. It's pretty much they rocks. Some very nice looking rocks. Some of them. Diamonds and all that stuff ain't nothing but a rock. Gold ain't nothing but a rock. Silver ain't nothing but a rock. So it's a metal technically, I guess. But certain things have the both of them in them. Matter of fact, I think gold in its pure form doesn't look like polished like that. Gold in its pure form I think it's a rock, if I'm not mistaken. You might get your passport card destroyed. Hey, listen, bro. I done provided you multiple remedies, Kevin, on that situation. If you don't get paid off this situation, bro, something's wrong because you should be making bank off of this in settlement loot for real. You know what I mean? Just the statist. Okay. So who you put on notice first? Department of State. Department of State, definitely. Department of State first. And what is it? Notice the age, notice the principals, notice the agent, notice the agents, notice the principal. Yeah, you want to do that, and that's basically, hey, put everybody on point. I'm telling you, and you tell all your subordinates what time we on. All right, make your declarations from there. You got hindered one time. You gotta explain that. What happened, bro? Drop the science, man. Lifelong apprentice of Leary. Okay, no, I say the right things, Kevin. Yeah, police violate the Bill of Rights. Man, police don't give a fuck about no Bill of Rights. They don't care about that shit, bro. They don't care about. I watched the video. Just I think it was Wednesday. This guy he goes around asking for people. Like, all right, so if he gets approached by a police officer, because this guy he lives in his car, so he parks in random parking lots to rest, and then people call the police on him for suspicious activity, which is dumb as hell. So police come and ask him for ID. He says, "Yeah, I'm willing to give you ID if you'd be willing to give me your ID." And he usually gets it. So he goes to this courthouse and he asks the clerk in a non-asshole way. He's got a GoPro one because he films all the transactions with everybody. And this guy was being the most furthest thing from a jerk. This dude was patient. His voice was lowered. So he asked her, I see a sign across the street that says parking only for 2 hours, but I'm afraid if I park there and go away from my car, it might take longer than 2 hours. So I don't want to get towed. Do you have anywhere else that I can park that I don't have to pay? And she's just like, why are you asking me that? And she's just like super defensive because there's a camera there, which the First Amendment basically says that you have freedom of the press, pretty much. So if you're writing an article, if you're doing a vlog or anything like that to give any information on the county and their constituents, so to speak, you have the right to do so. So this guy's basically filming in the he's basically filming, and I don't think was it a courthouse? I don't remember. But he's filming, and then she calls the sheriff. So there's two sheriffs come, three of them, matter of fact. So the guy's like, okay, why are these sheriffs here? I was just asking you a question. And she's like, well, it's because I think I want you to leave because I think you're being antagonistic. He was like, I'm being antagonistic because I'm asking where to park. Crazy shit. So then these police officers come in, they're like, yeah, we need your ID. He was like, I don't have to provide you ID unless I committed a crime. He says, there, well, yeah, still need to get it so I can know who we talked to and such. He was like, look, I ain't giving you no ID, and if you want to lock me up, you can go ahead and violate my Fourth Amendment right. So they locked this man up. Clear violation to the Fourth Amendment. He even invoked it and everything, so ain't no excuse for that. So that man invoked the Fourth Amendment. They locked him up. And bro, I tell you, he got a mean case coming out of that for real. If he sued these bastards, the tort claim. They deserve every bit of it. Put that shit right on their bonds, all three of them. Did you establish trust to protect your straw man from these legal villains? Trust is a must, and I'm gonna leave it there. Trust is a must. Russell Winbush is learning exactly. Yes, sir. Check out the PDF drive and tons of books there are. Just look it up and download it if it's found. Yep. There's so much information out there, bro. Only thing I can do is point you in the right direction and tell you what I've done, or give you the information, feedback on what I've done and I've experienced. That's all I can do. I gotta get on that crystal tip. Absolutely, bro. This is as much a spiritual war as this is a physical war of the mind. This is a mental war, or whatever. I said physical. I meant mental war of the mind, pretty much. Definitely that 100%. Get with the crystal movement, man. Yeah, I filed for final judgment tomorrow for my first case. Okay, nice. Did you go to court yet or no? Check out DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide. Damn near a supermolecule that hears everything. Down syndrome, the spinal brain injury. Wow. Byproduct of paper production comes from the trees. DMSO. See, y'all coming. I've seen so many different remedies for health, man. These people are putting me down with, man. I'm like, yo, where has all this stuff been? I'll look into that, man. Thank you. Amanda Vollmer in the book, The DMSO Handbook for Doctors, goes deep on this, especially the book. Okay. Yeah, I've been following the Dr. Sabi thing, man. I just been going after what he said, trying to stay mucus free. I've been rocking with the sea moss real heavy, man. My sea moss shake twice a week. I rock with my alkalinized water. You know what I mean? I've been doing that. I've been pretty much trying to stay mucus free, because the main thing I notice is mucus, man. That's the main thing for me. I literally got an order for DMSO today. Oh, that's dope. I gotta get with the mechanicals on that. What bonds did you go after tort claim against the police? Well, they're all supposed to have what's called like a surety, like a security bond, rather a surety bond or something like that. So, like for instance, when I called I actually called the police station one time to find out if particular police officer had a bond on him, and when I asked the question, she basically said, "Did he hit your car or did he run into your car or something like that?" Which basically gave me the notion that these police officers are aware they have bonds, but they think it's only before if they run into your car or some shit like that, if they damage your property. It's the only way that they're supposed to give up their bond information. They all have bonds though, because you can't work for public office unless you have what's called like a surety bond, which basically is like kind of like like insurance, basically. You know what I mean? If you want to know how to get the police officers' bond numbers, you can holler at Kevin, because he actually is very good with that. Kevin, send me that information too on how you did that, bro. Send me that information, yo. Hit my email right now. Let me know how you did that, because I actually seen him do it before. He's actually pretty good with that too. Kevin's very resourceful. eBay has Crystal Bible volumes 1 through 3, 35.95. Yes, sir. Please grab it. I'm telling you, man, that's one of them books, bro. You're gonna really be glad that you caught, because if you have any kind of issues with the metaphysical realm or the physical, any of that stuff, it can very much help you, man. They got, I mean, shit, they've got crystals for injuries, like leg injuries, blood flow problems, headaches, you know what I mean, sinus problems, sprained wrist. They got all kinds of stuff, bro. I'm telling you, anxiety, anger. If you got depression, they got crystals for that. It's all kinds of stuff out there. You know what I mean? Black tourmaline is the fire, bro. And that I rock with the black tourmaline heavy and the what is that called? The money joint. What is that called, man? Meech Mega, my man Meech Mega. We talked about that joint too. What is it called? It's gonna come back to me later. But there's a crystal it actually generates money flow more. But yeah, I rock with that joint real heavy. And then when you wear your crystals, if you look at them with like a microscope or something like that, which I got one of these right here. This is basically like a dual stage like a microscope that you can take a deeper look at the stuff. So what I do is I wore my crystals for like 7 months, and then I looked at them and they got little cracks in them, because that's the physical. You can see the physical stress of the crystals whenever you deal with a certain thing and it's fighting it. In the metaphysical world, it actually manifests through cracks in the crystal. They still work, but you can see they're actually doing their job. A lot of people don't know that. But yeah, black tourmaline is lovely, man. Black tourmaline is lovely. That actually grounds negative energy. It works real well as a ground with other crystals. It can enhance the crystal. But yeah, it's dope, yo. Is it called the oath of office? It's public bond. I don't think so, yo. I think it's just like basically a surety bond, pretty much. I think that's what it is. I'll give you more information. Kevin's going to send me the info, and we'll talk about that next week. How to get the officers' bonds and information. You can even get the judge's bond too. I think you can use a Freedom of Information Act, if I'm not mistaken. You might have to go through the Department of State though, because a lot of these motherfuckers sideways. Like you send the police department a Freedom of Information Act letter, they might act like they ain't get that mofo. You might have to do that or a certified letter, or you might even be able to go do a registered mail, and they might act like they ain't get it. And if they do that, then hey, you have to go up to the Department of State or something like that. Or you have to go up the ladder. Yeah, because like I said, they don't want you to have that shit. I think I've even heard from somebody who went to the Department of State for that particular state, the building, and they actually got the bond information for the cops. You can get the judges, the police officers, any public official, basically. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I showed you guys that form last time that I was filling out for a mishap. I can't remember what form it was. I it was about 3 videos ago. You had to go back in my archives. But I talked to you guys about that mishap information. I think it was like 4532 or something. Don't quote me on that. Just go look at the video. But there's actually a form you can fill out and send to the Department of State, and you can put the agency that harmed or injured you and your property, basically, and you can send it to them. And you can also they actually ask you what do you want to be for the remedy. You can say, I want $50,000 for them violating my shit. You feel me? Or if you got a fee schedule on if you got a fee schedule on record, you can put that on there. Let them settle out a quote for a little bit less to save them some money. But at the end of the day, you get compensated. You know what I mean? Thanks. I'm gonna look into the buns. Does Kevin have a channel? No, Kevin don't have a channel. Kevin jumps on mine. Don't worry, I'm gonna drop you guys a link so you guys can hop in. And if you want to dispel some information, I'll be doing so. Give me a few minutes though, so I can get through these comments, and I'm gonna drop the link for everybody to jump in and we can talk about it. I bought all of them from Amazon back in the summer. Hematite, yeah, my man. So you took my advice, Tony. That's what's up, man. Yeah, them crystal books, bro. They lovely, man. I like crystals, man. Crystals are fire, bro. Citrine, that's the one. Douglas is the MVP for that. Douglas is the MVP. Citrine, that's the joint. Citrine is fire, bro. Let me tell you, I got some of that citrine, man. I'm telling you, when you get the citrine, just grab the citrine up, rock the joint, and just get in the way of money and watch you get hit by the money train. I'm telling you, get in the stocks, get in the bonds, and see if you don't get hit by the money train. To get hit by the money train, you gotta be laying on the tracks. You feel me? Get in on it. Get in on the stocks. Get in on the cryptocurrency, man. Get with the movement, man. We out here for better living. We want to be free sovereigns, and we want to also be able to take care of our families. Please lay on the money train and get hit by it. Facts. It's called the loop. How do you go about putting something in an official's bond? Yeah, see, you're going to talk to Kevin about that. Don't worry, I got you, yo. I got you. I watch his videos all the time, man. Subscriber. Boom. Yeah, he be talking. Yeah, like the guy that asks people for their ideas stuff. I watch them. I watch Auditing America too, and I watch Audit the Audit. Audit the Audit is pretty interesting because they'll break down a lot of legalities and statutes, codes, and regulations and ordinances. That's what they specialize in. They also do a little bit of lawful stuff like the Constitution, but most of the stuff they make is based on statutes, codes, and ordinances. Absolutely. I was doing 104 and 95. The officer asked if I had a license. I told him I did not. He said he'd be back and called for backup. And they were staring at my car like it was in Spanish. You know why they did that? One, because it don't have an address on it, and therefore you're not contracting in their jurisdiction. All right. Two, when he went to go run it, he saw what it said. He probably was a rookie. What time was it during the day, bro? What time was it? It depends on what time it was too, because I told y'all if y'all out here traveling, and y'all traveling 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 7, 6, whatever. If y'all traveling out late like that, y'all might run into amateur hour because don't forget, whenever you have a situation where a rookie comes to be a part of a job, they always get the shittiest hours. The shittiest hours we know are pretty much the graveyard shift. So that's getting to work at 6 or 5 and leaving at freaking 6 or 5 in the morning. Those are the shitty hours, you know what I mean? Or 10 or whatever, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever. Those are the amateur hours. Those motherfuckers don't know a lot. They don't know a lot of shit. They starting at the bottom of the ranks. Now, unless you got some weirdo, or you might have like an officer that's making, he might be a lieutenant, that's making great cheese to work that late. But I mean, that's his option at that point, man. He knows stuff, but he ain't out there patrolling. He might get called out of his subordinates are doing stupid shit, like trying to give you a ticket if you gave him a passport card. But yeah, that's the reason they were sitting there looking at it like that because they know what it said. It shit said, "Do not detain." They had to call. He probably called another officer there. He probably called the sergeant. Sergeant probably looked at it like, haven't heard of this. They'll probably try to figure out what to do, But yeah, the reason why they call for back, if you ever see him call for backup, it's because it is a amateur officer. Okay, they don't know what to do. They've been told to do something they've never seen on their computer before, and they're calling for backup. That's why they do that. So don't be intimidated. We don't get intimidated when we see 5 officers pull up. A lot of times they do that shit to intimidate you or scare you or something like that. I don't know what the fuck is going on either. So hey, don't be intimidated by that. A lot of times they pull all them officers up because they don't know what they're doing. 60, you know how to do send and register. Absolutely, it's easy. Send and register mail is dumb easy, bro. All you gotta do is go to the post office and just tell them you want to send some registered mail. And then they're gonna try to tell you, you mean certified mail? No, I said registered mail. They're gonna try to tell you certified mail because they don't send a lot of registered mail. So a lot of them don't know how to do it. But there needs to be one worker in that post office that knows how to send registered mail. There's one in there. If you gotta get to the senior advisor or the manager or such, that's it. That post offices are usually pretty big. They look small in the front office, but you'd be surprised how big them joints are. They also got private offices back there for the managers and all that in the back too. So when you go in the joint, you might have to just ask for a senior officer if they don't know how to send registered mail. But I mean, that's a service they have to provide. So yes, and make sure you keep the registered mail number so you'll get like a tab or something like that to tear off. Keep that in your records. You should have, as a foreign national, you should be organized. You should have folders for each of your things, okay? You should have folders if you have a UCC one or whatever. You should have folders for that. You should have folders for all your documents you send public officials. All your certified mail slips should go in a folder. All your registered mail slips should go in a folder. Everything you have and send out should be due cleared before you send it off. If you're not organized, it's gonna bite you in the ass. All right. Make sure you have your red pens on deck. Make sure you have your purple pen on deck. Your blue pen on deck. Make sure you have your stamps too. I showed you guys this a while ago. I'll show you again. All right. You get yourself a stamp made. You can go right on Amazon and get yourself a stamp made. That way you don't got to keep writing that out every time you get some mail you don't want. You can stamp it and send it back. When you send it back, cover the address. All right. Because a lot of those post office employees are slow, so they don't really read what they're doing. So what they'll do is, if you stamp it refuse, no contract, and if you don't cross out the address, they'll go ahead and just redeliver it. Because I actually had that happen before. So I wanted to cancel a contract. I stamped the no contract and I put it back in the a random mailbox when I was walking past it. This wasn't my home address and the home address and nothing like that. So what I went ahead and did was I put the joint in like just a regular mailbox and they redelivered it. And I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing, bro? So I had to actually take like a sticky pad and I had to lay it over top of the address to the my mailing address basically, and I had to put like clear tape over it. That way they couldn't resend it. They had to actually freaking read that it said, return to sender refused and such. Like I said, a lot of these low level functionaries, bro, they just trying to get to that through that 9 to 5 to get home and smoke some herb. That's all they trying to do. They ain't really trying to do no extra reading or nothing or no comprehension. But I mean, you get what you pay for. You pay them shitty wages, you get shitty work. Feel me? Shitty expectations. Nope, absolutely not. Because I'm gonna tell you what happens. If you show them the passport and you show them your license, they're gonna do like this. They're gonna look at your license, look at your passport, say, I don't need this. They're gonna give you back the passport. They're gonna use the license to pull you in that jurisdiction. So no, you shouldn't even. I honestly would say, honestly, if you want to be completely private, you shouldn't even have a license. But some people got to do stuff, which I get. You should be able to jump between the jurisdictions. If you're operating in commerce, you should be able to leap into the commerce side. If you're not operating commerce, you should be able to jump in the private side. But they don't always do that. Sometimes they try to pull you into the private side. I've even seen situations where I've been in a situation where I didn't even have my license on me. But the fact that I still had a license And I gave them the passport. They were able to pull it up on their computer. Dirty tactic. But yeah, they do it. You know. Last thing they want to do is let you go away without no ticket or nothing. Sun crystals. Yes, sir. I have the sheriff's bond number. What police officers have is bond insurance companies. All public officials are supposed to be bonded. Police, judges, attorneys generals. Yep. There you go. Oh, you missed a lot. Well, we be dropping bars on here, man. You missed a little bit. How to beat qualified immunity by proving a peace officer is not under color of law. How to beat qualified immunity? Well, the simple explanation of that is when a police officer takes an oath to uphold the Constitution. All right. Once you take that oath, you have to make sure that you can get your hands on their oath of office. All right. Once you put that in as the one of the pieces of information, you basically could, if you do like a tort claim or something, you put that in. That's basically saying, well, this guy basically took an oath to the Constitution, and the fact that he did this, that was basically a statute, code, or ordinance, and I'm not even a U.S. citizen. The fact that he actually did that, he was operating out of his police officer's capacity because he took an oath to the Constitution. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can't do this though, because if you're a U.S. citizen, you're a legal fiction. If you're a legal fiction, you don't get no rights. You get privileges. But if you're not a U.S. citizen, you're a foreign national, or you're a state citizen, American national, and such. If they're operating out of the Constitution, which means if they're towing your car, some shit like that, because your plates aren't, they don't like the fact that your plates aren't registered with the NBA, which is complete theft. But if they do something like that, they're acting out of their capacity because they took an oath to the Constitution. So therefore, at that point, they're acting as a man. They're not acting as a police officer, and that'll yank them out of their. That'll yank them right out. 18 United States Code Title 242. Invoke that, and I pull up his oath of office. Also, that's probably the best way to do it when you do the tort claim. And also, Jonah Bayer basically said once you pull an officer in the court for the tort claim, he ain't allowed to have no lawyer, so it's just you and him. And he's there as a man. He ain't there as a police officer. The courts, I've even heard police officers say in one of those videos where they said it was a sovereign citizen, which I don't know what the hell that is. But the guy basically, the police officer, the guy didn't give him any ID. He said, look, I'm just traveling, exercising my rights, such and such. So the guy calls for backup. I think this guy was an amateur. He calls for backup, and the other police officer comes, and you can still hear. They didn't mute the conversation, which is interesting. So he says, man, I actually heard about one of these guys. Another police officer had stopped him and given him a ticket. And he actually put a lien on this guy, and this guy's credit was messed up for like 10 years. He was like, it almost makes me want to just say, fuck that. I ain't dealing with that shit. Other police officers was like, yeah, I hate sovereign citizens, such and such. The bottom line is if they drag us in the court, it's bullshit because when they take us in the court doesn't back us. It's like they don't fucking back you because you're operating under color of law, stupid. If you actually studied the Constitution instead of just cheating to pass your test for the Constitution, which is a thing they can actually get around studying the Constitution. There's a way they can get around it and still be able to pass and get their police officers license or whatever the hell it's called, pretty much. But yeah, there's actually a way they can get around studying the Constitution, which is freaking insane. But yeah, if you actually studied it, then yeah, you would see that yes, you're operating under color of law, buddy. Yep. 9 a.m. Yep. So he must have been about to get off of his shift and must have been a situation where he's about to clock out or whatever. You probably was the last pull of the day. Form over everything. Yes, sir. I think that was in the video. It might have been form over everything, or it might have been the one before that. What you talking about, bro? Appreciate you sharing these profiles. I'm getting my money right to get the authentication. Yes, sir. Please get the authentication. It's crucial. Crucial. What did the stamp say? My stamp says, I'll do it again. All right. I'm gonna hold this still for you guys. That's the stamp right there. All right. You can get it right on Amazon. They'll make you any stamp you want and any color ink you want. I did red because red indicates nationality. That says United States of America Republic, UCC 1-308, parentheses refused, no contract, foreign national without the U.S. And Shout out to Bad Wolf on that because Bad Wolf actually put me down with that. He's like, yo, get your stat made. Go subscribe to James C. Levitt's channel. That dude does the same. He studies the same things we study. If you're not familiar with his channel, he studies the same things and he's very thorough in his research. I highly recommend. You will learn something. I learn something every week. Facts. Yes, sir. Sovereign Living has a video about sending mail for free with 2-cent stamps, registered mail included. I'm about to try that. Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I gotta look into that. If you have UCC 13 or your driver's license, will that stop all the tickets? They're gonna try you. I haven't done that, so I can't say. I've heard about people having success with it. Then I've also heard about people not being able to fill that out on their stuff. So like I've heard about literally a guy was like he went in there and he actually put that on his application and they told him that he can't sign it like that, which is they can't tell you how you can sign. That's actually a crime for them to do. I think that's a felony or something like that. I can't. I don't know. It's something I gotta look into the United States code, but it is not right for them to say that to you. But yeah, they actually they whited out the UC, which they changed his signature too, but they got rid of without prejudice, and it was just his regular signature on there. I've heard about all kinds of stuff they do like that. I spoke to one of my dudes in Texas when I went to Texas early this year, and he says, go and get yourself a if you want to go get like a state ID or something, you can fill the contract out. Make sure you sign it as a creditor. Don't sign it as a debtor. All right. He says, then you can take your affidavit of nationality and put two staples in each corner, one staple in each corner in front of the contract, which basically means at that point, once you do that, that is a part of the contract. One staple in the left corner, one staple in the right corner. That's a part of the contract now. So when you put your affidavit of nationality, you can actually staple it to the contract. That's what he said. He said once they do that, they cannot alter the contract. It's null and void. If you can also, if you need to, you can probably get a copy of that too. I haven't done that yet. I don't know if I will no time soon though. I might. I mean, when you do your passport process, did you show the license as ID? Nope. No, I didn't. When I got my passport when I was I think I was like 23. Yeah, I showed them a license because I was under the assumption I was a US citizen back then. When I came back, only thing I did was turn in my old passport, and that was good enough. Am I hearing this correctly? You're saying use a passport to be a national and not have a license. You must be new here, bro. You must be new here, man. Yeah, Gary, that's how we move, baby. That's how we move, baby. Yeah, your passport can serve as identification, which is necessary for traveling, not driving. Exactly. If you're gonna drive, you need to have a license because that's pretty much operating in commerce. You know what I mean? Black's Law Dictionary. They changed the definition though on some slick shit because they knew people were starting to figure out what was going on. They moving the goalposts. It's a dirty game. We all know what kind of game we in. This is a dirty game. They move the goalposts from time to time, but we saw that coming. But yeah, they do stuff like that. But yeah, we travel. We got the right to travel. That's Kent versus Doles, 1958. Government should not be involved with interfering in your right to travel. And traveling is not the same as driving. Driving is operating in commerce. Black's Law Dictionary basically states that driving is one employed in operating a carriage, coach, something, 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 motor vehicle, whatever. And then motor vehicle is defined in United States codes, basically saying it's something used for commerce. So it's private property. We don't drive vehicles. We travel in our private property, automobile, private conveyance, whatever. Actually, you can't even say automobile now because I heard there's a loophole for that too. So you literally gotta say private property now, trust property. If you did the trust, you can trust property. You know what I mean? This is all educational information, not to be construed as legal advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. Let me say that again. This is not educational. Excuse me. This is not legal advice. This is educational information only for entertainment purposes. I am not a lawyer, and nor do I ever intend to be a lawyer, nor do I pretend to be a lawyer. If you're seeking legal advice, please contact Legal Consult to help you with your questions. If you intend this to be legal advice at any point, I'm sorry that I've led you down the wrong path, but that is not what we intend here. We just dispel information and I have no responsibility for what you choose to do with this advice. All right. Now, let's say you have just saying word. No, it won't what? What you talking about, Kevin? 18 USC, deprivation of rights on the call. I love that's one of my favorite ones. 18 United States Code Title 242. There's 242 and I think 240. I think it's 241 also. I got to double check that. They can't say you can't sign it. They're basically giving you advice, legal advice, facts. Giving you legal advice. Yeah. Are you giving me legal advice? Yo, I talked the finest thing walking. He said he actually hemmed somebody up like that before. Somebody told him, yo, you can't sign your name like that. He says, are you giving me legal advice? It was like, you know what? Do what you want. I don't care. You ask the right questions, you get the right answers. You know what I mean? Since I have a video about IDs, I'm going to send you to you in private. Please do that. Do that, man. Do that. Russell Wimbress, when you looking for a study partner last time on another channel. As long as it's in the trust, you're generally safe. Yep, get that agreement. Told you, get the agreement. By the way, did you know that use is also a commercial term? Wow, no, I didn't. I got curious and looked up the definition. It's basically the implication. Wow. Bro, I'm confused about the entire passport, ID, no driver's license. I got to do some research. Anyway, you can point me in the right direction. Well, there's two ways I can do it. I can send you some videos, but you're going to have some questions. So, you can hit my email and I can send you the video, or if you want to do a consultation with me, I can do so. Just hit my email and I will set you up with a consultation. But like I said, I'll send you the video if you want, because the information is already out there. No, this information is kind of dated because there's new techniques and things that we found since then that move you further up on the protection list or whatever. Um, yeah, so if you do want me to give you that info, I can do you a consultation. If not, I can just send you the old school info. You can just do it the old school way, which is still good. I mean, shit, I did mine the old school way. Whatever. All right, cool. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this link in this joint for y'all to hop in and drop some fire upon the people. Fire upon the people. There's the link in the comment section. Anybody that wants to come in here and drop some fire, please do so. And we can educate and regulate. Ah, boy. Took a nice ride down to the spring today. It was real nice, man. Like the spring, I've noticed it's just interesting. You just look at nature, man. You see the summer and spring, it's all these radiant greens and you know what I mean, radiant blues from the flowers and stuff like that. And then season changes to autumn, and then you see the yellows and the browns and the oranges. It's lovely, man. I tell you, nature is a great thing. It's just so peaceful. You just out there in the nature, you just relaxing, bro. It calms you down. A lot of people in these big cities, a lot of people in these big cities that are depressed and stuff like that. Reason they're depressed is because they never really ground themselves. You ain't out in nature. You always wound up. You always got something to worry about. You never just take time to unwind and just be with nature. You get with nature, it's relaxing. It's beautiful. That is the email, Gary. Yes, indeed. That is the email. And that is the link. Where's the springs in BWI? Well, if you can find a spring under an airport, you're an interesting dude. It's your email description. Yes, it is, Gary. Again, for the second time, that's my email, bro. Hit me up. Indeed. And that is the link. So if y'all want to hop in and drop some bars, I got you. I got you. But yeah, man, just unplugging, man, and getting out there in nature is dope, y'all. It's great. Grounding. I've been telling you guys about grounding too. Taking your shoes off, taking your socks off, and putting your feet on the earth. Putting your feet on the earth, man. It can really center you. It's great. The fall is dope because I call it autumn. What I wonder, why did they change? When I was younger in the early '90s, fuck you for saying anything about that, calling me old. But when I was younger in the early '90s, I remember that they used to call fall autumn. Why'd they change it from autumn to fall? Because they used to say autumn fall on the on the calendar. Does anybody else remember that? Or was that a Mandela effect? Because they used to call it autumn. They used to call it autumn. Now they call it fall. Why is that? Yo, it seems like it's a negative connotation psychologically. Fall. What does that do when you hear the word fall psychologically? You think about like something that's not good, right? But autumn, not necessarily. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, situation where you hear the word fall, it does something to your mental. Weather's changing. A lot of people are single, don't have anybody. You hear the word fall, like you falling and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're falling off. It's just a negative connotation, man. But to me, autumn was, you know, shit. Autumn is just sounded even sounds harder. Sounds doper. In Baltimore, yes, sir, there is. It depends on where you're at, though. It depends on what part of Baltimore you're in. And I told you guys, I'll tell you guys who are the newbies, only because it's so important. This website right here, the website. If you're a newbie, this is the website you need to go to. All right. And we talk about this. I talk about this like once a month. If you're a newbie here, please go to this website and find a spring nearby. All right. And you can check the reviews and do your own tests on the water to make sure it's good. I so happen to be near one of the nicest quality springs in the state itself. Lucky for me. But the water is I heard the water in most of them is fantastic. I think there's only a few that are fucked up, and that's like in Florida and shit. And I heard Tony Cooper said the one in New York was messed up too. But you can also buy your own tester and run your own test on the water. You know what I mean? But yes, sir. Oh, we got nobody jumping in. I might be able to clock out early tonight. Y'all let me off the hook early. All right. Bad Wolf, what up, man? Good to have you in the bleachers. The colors are magnificent. Oh, please, everybody hit the like button, please. Everybody mash that like button real fast for me. Hit that like button real quick for the one time, for the one time, for the one time, for the one time. Like my man Finest Thing Walking says. Go subscribe to Finest Thing Walking too, man. That young man's doing his thing. He just got himself that new I think he got a Hellcat or something like that, or something. He got one of them Dodge cars that was pretty fast. Yeah, young man doing his thing. Though. I love to see it, man. I love to see it. Go subscribe. Fall back, spring forward. Yep. Findaspring.com. Go check that out and find a spring near you. Maybe because the time falls back and autumn is probably the real term. That's what I say. Autumn, yo. I'm going back to autumn, bro. That's what I'm calling it again. I ain't doing that fall shit. It's a negative connotation. When I do, if I state ID of Michigan, Jesus Christ, I almost had a tumor reading that, bro. You gotta word that better, yo. All right. So he's saying, I signed the application UGC 1 308. That's on my ID card. Okay. So you had done that or you intend to? Eating fresh vegetables that have dirt on, healthy biobacteria benefit, natural probiotics. Eat dirt. Be telling people that shit, man. I remember they told us that I think this shit was a hoax. They used to tell us that you would get a hookworm if you walked around with no shoes on. That's they don't want you grounding with the earth. They don't want you grounding, bro. They don't want you connecting with the earth. Yeah, I did that before. It does taste different. 100%. Besides the usual, man, I was looking into you know what, hold on, because I was just reading this book earlier. Hold on. All right. I've been looking into hold on. There it is right here. Yeah. All right. So I told you guys about this book before. I'm gonna tell you again for those who haven't heard about it. This is a quality read right here. All right. And anybody who calls themselves black, quote unquote, needs to look into this because this right here is a good read and crucial information. This is the book right here, Tracing Your Family's Geological History by Records. All right. And this basically is by Dane Calloway. Dane Calloway does have a channel on YouTube. Please go subscribe to him and check your history. All right. Learn your history and learn who you actually are. Learn what tribe you from. All right. So check it out though. This book right here I was reading earlier, and I was looking into the Cherokee Nation website, and I looked at Dan Calloway's book because I was just looking at just for theoretically seeing how you could register, with the tribe, and they were basically saying they had some stupid excuses to how they could find out if you were quote unquote Native American, which is a legal fiction. But it was like a stupid. I can't remember what they said, but it was something stupid on the website. You can look it up yourself. But they said something about drops of blood or something. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about, bruh? Like they said something about the Dawes rolls and stuff like that. But the thing about it is when a lot of the Europeans came over here, um, when they started doing the Dawes rolls, a lot of Europeans would come over and pay $5 to get their name put on the Dawes rolls. So they were classified as quote unquote Native American, but they weren't actually indigenous people. So I mean the term Native American has been dragged through the mud so many times because it's not a really a thing. So yeah, I would recommend reading that book. I was doing some reading on that myself earlier. But yeah, it's a great read, man. All right, so we got coming up to the stage, my man Kevin. It is Kevin.
Hey, what up?
All right, so my man, what up with you, man?
What up with me? Man, just looking forward to tomorrow. I'm gonna be filing for final judgment tomorrow for my first case, so that's
Oh
good.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so did you go to court at all?
Did I go to court at all? I mean, yeah, I go to file the documents and everything, but like in terms of trial stuff like that, like hearing, nah, I didn't do none of that.
Okay.
Yeah, cause like there doesn't need to be a trial, like, or a hearing, because like it's just straight to the point, like there's no, like, it's undebatable, you feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they just can't debate it, so
Hmm.
yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay. And did you people were asking about how to get police officers bond numbers. Did you send that to my email?
Not yet, but um you see that okay, so the sheriff, he has one, so I got his. I mean, it was pretty simple, just send him an email. I mean, that's all I did. I didn't do anything special, so I just sent him an email and they gave it to me wicked easy. But I also sent it to like the first police officers. But the thing is, they like don't have individual bonds. So what they gave me was like they gave me an insurance company that like covered each of them. So like
Yeah.
they had all their names and stuff like in the
Mhm.
company, and like their insurance would cover them. So that's how their bond works. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I also asked for let's see. So one of my traffic cases at the Article 1 court, I asked for the judge, I mean the magistrate, her bond. They didn't give it to me, so yeah. They're like they don't always give it to you.
Well, nah, they're gonna try to give you a hard time, but you might have to go above them and go like to the Department of State or the what is it, Secretary of State in your state or whatever.
Yeah.
Pretty much go there. Let me cover some comments. Hold on. We were talking about crystals earlier. Make sure you are cleaning them regularly with salt and charge them. Yes, sir. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Make sure you keep your crystals clean. That's what I do when I make tea. Put them out in the sun for 8 hours. Boom. The sun is lovely. It's a power source, man. You should be sun gazing too. You should be doing some sun gazing, planting on the earth, get yourself grounded to the earth and do some sun gazing. You know, it's funny. I talked about this a while back, but yo, remember that thing where they showed that Caucasian looking lady? She had her pants off and she had her asshole in the sun. She had her legs all the way past her head. And we like people say, yo, white people do crazy shit. Like, yo, fact of the matter is, I bet you that's probably a way to take in some good sun. No, am I gonna do that? Absolutely not. Because I don't want nobody taking pictures of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't in a situation where I could just be in my backyard doing it. You know what I mean? So nah, that's not gonna be the case. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she knew something we don't know about that. Man, it says I got the police misconduct book for 300. Yeah, I gotta get with that, man. This guy right here, James C. Lovett, this is the guy I was telling you about. Go subscribe to his channel. He always got that fire, man, all the time. Alkaline water. I'm pretty sure that'll do it. Sun tea used to be lit. Better than store bought. You use alkaline and sprinkle sea salt in the water. Even Himalayan salt is fire. About time, Kevin.
Oh
All right,
god.
yeah. So sunburn, but yeah, right. You don't want. I don't want no parts of that, bro. You feel me? Yeah. So yeah. So that's crazy, Kevin. So did you look into that mishap form I put up?
The mishap form. Wait, which form?
Ah, you killing me, bro.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was on the geez, what was it? I think it might have been on the Department of State website. I can't
Oh wait.
remember.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw it. I think I put it in my notes. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it.
Send a
I
note
put it
to
in
the
my notes.
Department of State to seek compensation for that, man. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it's easier if I just redo the passport application at a like at a I think an emergency station, because like that way I get it quick in like less than a week. That's probably the quickest way.
Did you look up how to get another card?
It's gonna take a while, and I can't lose my book because if I try to get another card, they might need the book, and like I need the book, you know. So if I'm gonna get a new one, I'm just gonna do it again and just get a new book and a new card. So yeah,
Check this out. How about this? If you go to get another when you go to apply for another one, how about you take the mishap form already printed out and everything,
yeah,
staple that to your application, your DS-11 form, because
yeah.
that's a Department of State form too. And then when they get it, they'll see why that joint. Like, yo, we already gave him a card. Why isn't the card here? Well, look, there's an explanation of why the card isn't here because Officer Dickhead destroyed it. They were like, wait a minute, hold on. The officer destroyed the card. That might be the move right there. You know,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but yeah, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. For that judgment, hope gets signed. As soon as that shit gets signed, bro, I'm quitting my job.
That hopefully it does, man. And this is where the sun don't shine. Right. Exactly. Where the sun don't shine, bruh. Exactly. But yeah, as far as books, I'm looking into that one right now. And geez, that's another one I'm reading too. I'm reading another one, but I'm actually reading the Kama Sutra. And the Kama Sutra is a very interesting book because excuse me, it basically is one of those Middle Eastern looking books, and it's pretty much like Indian such, ancient beliefs and such like that. It's got to do with men and women, and I like to read stuff like that because I like to read other people's perspective on it. And it was a pretty good book, man. I was surprised. I only got through the male one so far, but I actually have the one for women too. So there's two different versions. You can get the one from a male's perspective and a woman's perspective. So I mean, I was just reading a book. It's called the Kama Sutra, and there's a bunch of different sexual positions and stuff like that. But aside from that, is mostly knowledge. Like it tells a man how to conduct himself. It's basically saying always be clean shaven, always whenever you go out, always smell good, always be groomed properly. When you're dealing with women, you always got to be real selective. It's basically the red pill knowledge that everybody's familiar with from the community. But all this stuff is ancient though. This is ancient texts. You know what I mean? Texts. I said text. Texts. Ancient texts. But yeah, I'm reading that book. I'll be reading the female one too, probably within the next week or so. But yeah, those are the only books I'm reading right now. Wondering would it be wise to order duplicates just as in case? What do you mean duplicates? You want a passport? Nah, that ain't gonna work, bro. Because what they do is, if you talk about the passport, what they'll go ahead and do is when you apply for the new one, they'll cancel out the old one. So now you can't just get duplicates. It don't work like that. Ministry trust. Yo, that's fire, bro. Ministry trust is something else right there. You talk about, yeah, my man, he know. Yeah, yo, I suggest everybody look into ministry trust. Yeah, right. That's the best. Become the church and function as such. Yep. I know a few people that are reading into that. Let's put it that way. I ain't gonna put them out there, but I know a few people that are familiar with that move. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of them they moving privately. You know what I mean? Through trust. They're moving through trust. Yes, sir. So what's been up, Kevin? You've been so when you've been traveling, man, you've been carrying your book around. They still follow you?
Well, you see, like right now, it's kind of so. As soon as I win the case, I'm kind of safe because like they'll know not to fuck with me no more and shit, right? But as of right now, let's see. I've had one cop behind me, and like that was about a week ago, and like I was coming back from work to home, right? And he followed me all the way to my neighborhood, and then he left.
What kind of tag did you have? You still have the traveler tag?
No. So like it says foreign national on the bottom, and then it says UCC 1-308, and then it has my trust thing to hold the vehicle. Yeah,
So you got the UCC one set up then.
yeah.
Nice. He did the same shit I did. You copied my style. I like it. All right, go ahead. So what happened?
So yeah, he left me alone. So yeah, I basically take the same route every day. I mean, not every day, but when I work, I take the same route every day, and like I guess it's very unlikely for me to get pulled over. And if I do, then I mean, I haven't got pulled over since. So yeah, but yeah, as soon as I win this case, I'll be good. Don't know not to fuck with me. So
Well, they already know. They got a note on you. They already got a note on you. You know.
yeah, cause
Yeah.
like, cause right now, I mean, tomorrow's
I
judgment.
can't hear you, bro. It's muffled.
Tomorrow is judgment, so I guess I don't have to wait too long.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's just waiting for tomorrow.
That's what's up, man. Hope that works out for you, man. You should be able to get some cheese off of, man.
Yep.
I better see a big ass donation in my cash. Donate the cars, baby. Yeah.
Yep.
My man Carl says, yes, I've done that before. I did my passport ID DS11 application. Okay, cool. That's a good thing. Kevin needs to give me a break
What? A break
a break
break t
t-shirt.
a break t-shirt? I don't know.
Yeah, he always on your case because he wants you to be better, man. That's all it is. Yeah,
Bro, I've been grinding my ass off for how long? I mean, let's see. I would say well 2 years consciously, back with the health and everything. Before I got into all this national stuff, I was doing my own thing, like with the matrix itself, with health and everything. And
mhm.
now I'm here, about to be about to retire. So
That's a
yeah,
bet.
it's
Okay.
crazy, man. It's crazy.
Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Absolutely. Great stuff. It's always good to see people, pulling it together. But yeah, man, after you I even say with the affidavits you filed so far, he probably won't even mess with you anymore. The police officer probably won't even mess with you, man, honestly. And I
Yeah,
and I, and I tell you what, if they didn't know before what all this stuff means, they know now. So,
yeah.
sometimes you gotta be the one in the area to crack ground. That way everybody else can move around.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, if anybody lives in Massachusetts in the Boston area, I do have a somebody I know who's a notary, and they can come out and do your notary for you. So if you ever can't make it to the bank for whatever reason, if it's wherever you go to get your notary, if it's a holiday or something like that, or if you just inconvenient to get out there, I do have somebody that can do mobile notary. So jump in my inbox and my email if you need that information, and I can send it to you. All right.
A mobile notary. Whoa,
Mm-hmm.
what is that? Never heard of that.
Somebody can come out and notarize your documents for you.
Hmm.
Yep. All right, let me check my email real quick. I think Joseph might have sent me something. Shit, if that's the case, man, we can wrap this up early, and I can get off early than that. That's what's up. Check this email real fast. Nope, we clear. We are clear. We clear. We clear. We clear. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call it a night, man. Shit, I can get out of here early. Covered a great range of information, and that, of course, as usual, good questions, man. Anybody who needs any information, you can hit up my email, which is in the description. We will be talking next week about the information about the bonds and all that stuff. We could talk about that next time. But my man says I'm a mobile notary in Houston. Yes, holla at my man Fearless. He's a mobile notary in Houston too. He can come out and do your documents for you also. All right, do that, do that. Old school. All right, fellas, it is the Foreign National Born Natural A6. It's great to have you on the show. Thank you very much for stopping through, Kevin.
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, sir. And we will be tuned in the same time next week, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's PM. And we'll be discussing more information. Y'all have a nice one. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace out.
Peace.